Welcome to the Chuck Stu Show, Season 4, Episode 11. Have a seat and welcome yourselves once again to the infamous, with the emphasis, Chuck Stu Show. Welcome yourselves to Season 4, Episode 11 of the Chuck Stu Show. We are winding it up with this season. Last week we had one hell of a hellscape style episode where it went almost to 3 hours. Our intended goal was to have it go to 3 hours, but it didn't. And so anyways, it's really okay. Either way, I was typing in to the search option on the Google on my phone, the Jim Cornette Experience. This is a podcast I like to listen to on Tuesdays and sometimes Mondays. Put in instead what Google suggested to me by Mr. Mark Zuckerberg was the Jim Jeffries Show. Don't you ever do that again. Do not. Yes, it's the beginning to the Chuck Stu Show, and let me tell you something. Oh man, is Microsoft Word bad. Woo, man. It's like when you walk into one of those urinals at the ballpark and some dude just fucking laid it out. They showed no mercy on that fucking toilet. It is bad. Ooh, my goodness. Oh, just Microsoft Word. It's actually, my thing is expired and they want $100 from me, which I don't have. And not only are they not allowed, they're allowing me to open up my documents, but I'm not allowed to do any copy and pasting, and they have disabled the option for me to even write when I was disabled from saving last week. They're literally not letting me do anything but just open files to look at them. Oh, man, that's fucking bad. That's, You're taking away the option a writer has to write. So, oh, Lord, help us. Woo! That's bad, baby. Ooh, that's some dank stuff. That's like oh, man, that is a cruel prank. That's like, it's like a Jewish person, 1940, walking into a deli, and it's like, surprise, Gestapo. It's like, man, that's just, but you're taking away the option of a writer to write. Whoo, baby, that is bad, and I gotta write out this pilot, okay? I have to do this pilot for this thing for me to make money, and you people are taking it away from me. It's like the equivalent of, let me tell you guys a story here. It's like the equivalent, it's a simile, of that one time I went down, right, I didn't actually go down, I called a lawyer, and the lawyer said in order for you to get on disability, because, let's backtrack a little bit before that, so, I was at the unemployment office, or actually it was the disability office, whatever, Social Security, whatever the fuck that building's called, downtown. I was there for about 6.5 hours waiting in line with a lot of other people. When they gave me a number, it was only like 20 numbers ahead of who they just called. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be able to get through this. No. It took about 6.5 hours. Finally, got up to the front and I said, so what happened? Why am I not getting disability? And she said, sir, we already sent you the email. We already sent you letters in the mail. We sent you this, we sent you that. We tried to call you and you don't have substantial evidence. Sir, I'm sorry. And then I said thank you, and I got up, having to think to myself, well, I mean, couldn't get any worse. But, oh, baby, is that bad. It's like the equivalent of around the time period when I called and spoke to a lawyer about setting up a court case for me to be able to get disability checks because of my problems. So, lo and behold, he tells me, well, you're actually supposed to be on 2 different types of medications, such as antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications that you need to get prescribed. You need to get a script from a doctor, and we need evidence that you're taking them. And I said, well, okay, let me get this straight here. I can't get a job. I have no money. How am I supposed to go see a fucking doctor or my parents' doctor to get medications that I cannot afford? I do not have health insurance. I have nothing. That's why I'm calling you. Oh, doggy. Woo! Oh, man. Oh, it's just one of those things where we don't want to help you, sir. Please get out. It's one of those things, which is most things here in Tucson. Because the Tucson government hates the poor. They're a bunch of failures. Piece of shit. Just piece of fucking shit. They're pieces of fucking shit. That's what that guy said. That's what his name Kenny Hobson said in that movie I Like Killing Flies. It's just, you just have to admit to yourself because you're not a good person. You're a piece of shit. Just admit you're a piece of shit. If you listen to the show, just tell yourself, you know what, I'm a piece of shit. So then life is not that bad. Because now that you don't have this whole aura around you that you think you're such a great person, mostly talking about the 1%, you're not such a great person. You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking filthy ass piece of motherfucking shit. You have no worth. You're a piece of shit. That's just how this goes. I've been nothing but treated poorly. Ever since I moved here to Tucson, I'm writing a fucking book about it. I'm writing a book. And I'm trying to submit it as a pilot to this website called BigTimeWorld.com. And it's like a Netflix thing for audiobooks, and they want an audiobook for me. The CEO sent me a message saying, hey, we would like a pilot from you. And there's a possibility I'm going to get paid for this. Possibility, because they are going to be selling this as audiobooks and, just other things. And it's just it's a piece of shit. Now I can't write. I'm trying to go online and everything on here is like, oh, Microsoft Word this, Microsoft Word that. You have to sign in with your account. We can't allow you to type unless you have an account. It's like, why the fuck do I need an account? Why do you need my information to do anything? I have to get my fingerprints. I have to get my fucking cell phone's been telling me that shit this week. That's a new app service. It's like, well, Sean, let's put your fingerprint on here because then we can say, well, it's like, but I don't already have a lock screen. I don't have a lock screen on my phone. I don't care. It's annoying to put in a number combination every time you open your phone. I don't care enough to do that. So why the fuck would I give you my fingerprint? It's like that. How about your DNA? Can I have your eyeballs? It's like, no, because it's like what Bill Maher said. They're just taking your information to sell it to other companies so that they can maybe, possibly make more money by getting your information to, so they literally know everything about you. They need to know your exact GPS coordinates all the time. It's like, I just need to write. I'm using this computer. It's just an electronic typewriter to me. So it's like, what the fuck? Why do I need to sign in? Once I sign into Microsoft Word on the 3 different links I clicked on Google, you know what they're going to do? They're going to say, Sean, you didn't pay the bill. Chuck, you didn't pay your bill. You didn't pay your bill, Chuck. It's about $100 for another year if you want this. You can't use it unless you got to sign in. You got to have a passport. You got to have a password. You got to use that password. And every time you log into Yoo-Hoo, make sure you have your phone because you're not going to be able to log in unless we give you that 8-digit combination to put in there because we don't know if it's you. It's like, it's just people not thinking. There's so many other ways to go about this. There's so many other ways to choose. But it's like, I swear, it's like everyone who holds a high position in a company is a fucking IQ is 20 moron. It's the epitome of insanity. It is the epitome of madness. I can't write because I'm not giving you $100. In the previous Windows computers, it was a free service. For how many years? Like 20 years? Up until now you have to pay for it, which I did back then. I paid for it. Now I have to pay for it again, but now I'm unemployed again because I could not do my job. I could not be the pharmaceutical technician, and there's nothing else to apply for in Tucson. I'm not going to get another job. We're talking about 5 or 6 months. Like, it's... What? Oh, man. Dark times, fellas. Dark times. We'll be right back.
This is the No Traveling Zone with the Doctor of Thugonomics, Dr. Pearl's Houston book. And now, he is the supernatural stud muffin. His mouth makes the loudest earthquakes, his balls are the size of pancakes, and your only competent doctor is here to lay waste to the cuck boys who believes the world wouldn't have all the problems we have if Hillary only married OJ, Dr. Pearl's Houston book. This next man is the leader of the cream team. He's the reason why Chuck Stu's politics go to scream. He's the reason we'll get sued if we monetize. By his hands, politics get brutalized. If this man doesn't like you, it's probably because you're a whack-ass motherfucker. He is the host of the new No Spin Zone, and has penetrated your mother, Buck Strickland.
And now, it's time 3 rounds in the cage with the light heavyweight champion of podcasting. He is the man with the power. Man of the power. The hit power. The record power. This man has to be on the bottom because he only fucks up. He looks for a corner in a circular room. The Podestar brothers would use his dick as a broom. The Larry Bird of football himself. Chuck Stu.
I mean, what do you really think of the UN? Because everyone that's ever given me an opinion about the UN is always like, oh man, you know, every time there's a genocide, let's just go on a podium and talk about it. Let's not stop it. Well, Somalia's having another genocide. Oh, fucking Kuwait's having another genocide.
No one cares about those countries. Like, Kuwait was like number 1 on my list of countries that we should just get rid of.
So, Dr. Pearl's book, thank you for coming in to your own show today.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about not coming, but whatever.
Yeah.
I gotta support the news.
So, Dr. Book, does that mean that you're a fan of Saddam Hussein?
I mean, I could say that he was my greatest hero, but that would not be accurate. He's my second greatest.
Who would be your favorite?
Favorite is Mao.
Mao Zedong.
Mao Zedong.
No, what did he do? I forgot.
He killed a bunch of people.
He started the communist revolution in China, I believe. Anyways.
I'm sure he killed like millions.
Oh yeah, he actually starved out. God, Buck, what was that thing he did? That was called what was it called? The Manifest something, where he killed his own party members, but it was like by the tens of thousands in like it was like in the span of like 6 months. Mm-hmm. What was that called? It was a thing like. Oh well, if you know it, throw it in the comments. If you listen to the show, if not, because I know you don't, go fuck yourself. Anyways, welcome to
Go fuck yourself.
Thank you, British Robot, for introducing me. We do have a new DJ for the show. It is a British Robot. Thank you, British Robot. So we were talking about, so apparently our president went over to the UN and he said he was going to totally destroy North Korea if they didn't get their acts together, and he called Kim Jong-un Rocket Man at the fuck-ass UN conference. Is the UN a joke?
Short answer, yes, with a but. Long answer, no, with an and.
Because I'm pretty sure it is. It's like the whole thing of them being there is so countries don't get like that poor, or they're there to stop genocides because they say, oh, we're gonna do this court case because these people are being inhumane or something like that, and then nothing happens. The genocides continue. Nothing fucking happens. So if the UN was doing its job, Africa would still not be the dark continent.
Well, Africa will always be the dark continent since they're keeping them down.
You gotta keep it 100 there. Yeah, keeping it 100. Dr. Book, do you know what African goggles are?
I do not. Can you enlighten me?
African goggles is when you put your ball sack on top of your female friend's eyes, so when she tries to open her eyes, she just sees darkness.
Isn't that just teabagging? Is that what it's called?
No, teabagging's in the mouth, I think.
Wow. The things these kids come up with.
So what do you think about this? He's calling Kim Jong-un, he's calling him Rocket Man, and I did hear a couple days ago in the news that Kim Jong-un said that we declared war on them when we did it.
Kim Jong-un is a fuck, and he knows it. And he thinks that he's hot shit because he owns a country, he runs a country, but his country is like the size of Rhode Island compared to the U.S., the size of New Jersey, so obviously he's not going to do shit for us. And we're going to kick his ass if he tries to fuck with us. He knows that. He's not going to go against Trump.
I've said that several times.
She's not manly enough. Trump is too manly for him.
It's just nice having a president who just doesn't give a fuck. But Kim Jong-un, what did he do exactly this week? He shot up a rocket that actually almost hit Japan, this time, on the shores. And it's just like, I mean, a bunch of people were shaking their heads, CNN and MSNBC and all the other fucking cuck networks were getting on Trump's ass, saying, oh, you know, he's such an idiot and he's so stupid. He's going to fucking get us all killed in this war against North Korea. It's like, this is what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Russia is going to jump in. China's going to jump in. But China can't really jump in, per se, because even though they have our debt, we buy all the whole knickknacks and all the shitty products that don't work from their country. Yep. So if we fucking go into the North Korean embassy, see Kim Jong-un put your hands up and fucking blow his dick off, then put a bullet between his eyes, China can't really do anything because guess what happens if we go to war with them? Their country goes more fucking broke than they already are.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that the truth?
So that's just my opinion about that. I mean, President Daddy, I'm right here. I'm unemployed. I'm ready to sign up for the United States Marine Corps. If you want to just send us in through helicopters where we're zipping off those lines like in Lethal Weapon, and we just storm the embassy and we're just fucking shit up. You would be a very smart man to hire someone like me because I would make sure that 10 Korean soldiers would die by my hands before I get blown up myself.
Yeah, and the Koreans, man, they don't know how to run shit. Like, they don't know how to control guns or anything. Like, they haven't had access to that shit their whole lives. So how is the military supposed to train against, you know, weapons of mass destruction like the United States? Trump's outfitting our soldiers.
I mean, pretty much. It's like, I mean, I don't think he would even have to send any soldiers into North Korea. What would he have to do? Just send 3 nuclear missiles that are going to go and hit the 3 main targets because most of the country's fucking poor. Everyone's starving there anyways. So you're just hitting Pinjong, wherever his embassy is, and maybe another place that's like heavily populated with military bases. War's 1, Grenada number 2. So yeah, we're looking at 12 hours of a war. So
yeah, exactly. I don't know.
All right, Dr. Book, how many minutes are we into the episode to go to the next segment?
We are 18 minutes in.
All right, so now what we're going to do... Oh, I didn't put that. Okay, now we actually have to go to your list.
All right.
For the Dr. Book segment. Who's on the list this week? We narrowed it down to 10 because there was way too fucking many.
Way too fucking many.
He buried so many people. Even Disco one said, oh yeah, Conan, you need to shorten your list this week because yours is getting too long.
Yep.
Not saying we're ripping him off, but he ripped off Jericho, so ripped himself. All right, number 1. Who's on your list? Is it Tom Cruise and the Mummy and mummies in general?
Huh. Well, Tom Cruise is coming out with a new movie. It's not a mummy film, but I heard it's terrible. And it's just another Tom Cruise classic film where he's the hero, but he's fucking also hella cool.
American Made?
Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't want to see it. I'll see Top Gun 2, but I'm sure that's going to be garbage.
You know, Buck actually yelled. He didn't yell in the theater when we went to go see It Monday this week, but they played the American Made thing, or American Made for Tom Cruise, and as he was done because he was about to get arrested by the FBI, and he's like, now I told you boys I was going to buy you a couple of cars worth over $100,000. And then they're like, set him free. We can't hold him here. He's like, I told you boys, you could all walked out with cars. And Buck yelled, oh, Tom Cruise is so cool in the theater.
It's so true. He is very cool. But fuck him. I don't care.
Yeah, number 2. Wait. We're not going to say, well, okay, Buck, you're not going to say fuck him for Top Gun number 1. And would you say not fuck him for Days of Thunder?
Days of Thunder was pretty good, but it was clearly a Top Gun knockoff. I mean, he played the same fucking character. He just drove cars instead of planes. That's really all it was.
Wasn't he Cold Torchlight or something?
Some shit.
Cold Fickle or something?
Yeah.
Anyways, number 2, Jeff Sessions.
Jeff Sessions, trust me, buddy, we have eluded all of you, and we're going to give you cancer. John McCain, we put a tumor in his brain. We're going to tumor 2020. Hashtag.
That's right. Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Rodham, we all know she went crazy after she lost. She couldn't handle it. Her career is pretty much over, which is very, very exciting.
I'm going to put Tyler Oakley on your list because In the first 5 pages of him reading Hillary's book, he started crying because he was so touched by what she wrote.
Yeah, any liberal, I've heard actually a couple people saying that they couldn't get through the book because it was so emotional. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. Obviously, if you can't easily beat Donald Trump in an election, you're a terrible candidate. Bottom line.
Pretty much. Whitney Houston, number 4. She on the list.
Whitney Houston, yeah, she is on the list. She'll forever be on the list because even though that bitch is dead and gone, her fucking catalog still haunts me to this day. Every time I hear a fucking Whitney Houston song, I get pissed. I get real pissed. So don't play that shit around me.
Number 5. Mexicans living in the U.S. refusing to learn the language.
That's an issue for me. I have patients all the time that try to say they don't need to learn English. But in reality, you motherfucker, like, you come to this country, you should fucking learn Trump's language. I'm sorry.
Thank you. All right? I'm going out of my way to learn the Spanish language because I'm going to Mexico.
Yeah. Chuck's girlfriend.
It's a free service online. It's a free service.
Yeah.
Anyways, so number 6.
It's just them choosing not to. That's really all it is.
John Podesta.
John fucking Podesta. We've spoken at length about him in this show. He is a fuck. He is a child rapist, and he needs to die. And we'll kill him too.
Oh, don't say that.
Remember when we were going to ask him to come on the show on Twitter as a guest? You remember that? Buck thoroughly talked me out of it.
I would have roasted that motherfucker.
I don't want the SWAT kicking down Rich's door in the middle of the night to put a gun in my face.
Might as well.
Yeah, I got nothing going on. Okay, WWE Creative, number 7.
Oh, well, for those of you that don't know, we used to be big wrestling fans. Now I have chosen not to watch wrestling because they are garbage. And trust me, they're dying too soon.
I'm still putting over the Revival.
I'm still putting over the Ascension. Resurrect the Ascension.
The Ascension? Oh,
Are they on your list?
Yes, who the fuck are the Ascension, honestly? Those guys just Road Warriors ripoffs.
Yeah.
The Illuminati.
Number 8.
That's gross.
The WNBA, NBA, NHL, and Formula 1 racing.
Well, I got one thing to say. One of those things is a sport, and the other 3 are jokes. So try to take a guess which one's which.
If you get it right, we'll be sending you a $100 Bluetooth. Number 9. Is this on your list? Podcasts just in general.
Well, I gotta say I can't talk crap about podcasts because we're on one right now. We're making one, but none of y'all listen to it. So fans of the podcast can go suck a cock.
Yeah, you fucking marks.
Yeah, assholes.
And last one, Twitter.
Twitter. Oh man, Twitter's become a hotbed for a bunch of fucking liberal assholes. So Twitter can go suck it until you bring back Milo's account. You guys will never be legit. So I'm just saying. All right. Next here,
the jail list.
The jail list. We're going to Chuck Stu's jail list, which is a special list that we're debuting here. Number 1 I have is Bill Gates. What do you think, Chuck?
I actually used to think Bill Gates was a really cool person because he said him and his wife are Christians. And I saw him jump over a chair. So I thought he was all that and a bag of chips and Keenan and Kel. But I found out he's a piece of shit himself. So yeah, he's on the fucking jail list.
All right, next is Tucson's local government.
Oh yeah, you guys are on the jail list.
All right, number 3, acute transgenders. What do you think about those?
Hey man, if they don't, okay, so there's pre-op and post-out. Is that correct? Because you conduct surgeries, right?
Yeah, pre-op and post-op. That's right.
All right, so which one is the one where it's basically a woman?
That would be post-op when they have their penis removed and the testicles.
Oh, like Blair White?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so cool with that. So that was, you said it was post-out.
Mm-hmm.
So pre-out, that's fucking disgusting. You people should be ashamed of yourselves. Ooh. I ain't down with that. You people are
down with that.
The LGBTQ, question mark, exclamation mark, @ sign, fucking ABCFGHI 9810. You people are on my fucking jail list.
Oh, Nancy ain't gonna like that one. Next one is possibly the best TV show in the world, Rick and Morty.
Oh man, I saw the pilot and it was bad. It was so cringy. It's one of those things where like Buck's girlfriend and my female friend and people that just don't know what talent or good is
They just see something's new and it's alternative, so therefore it's funny and cool. The show fucking sucks. It's on my jail list. Fuck the guy who keeps coming on the H3 podcast who made the show too. Fuck him.
Dan Harmon?
Yeah, fuck him too.
Well, Dan Harmon made Community, which is a pretty good show. But last one I have is Making Love. How do you feel about Making Love?
I don't really like it that much. I mean, my girlfriend actually asked me a couple days ago when me and Buck were watching SmackDown. She said, do you prefer to have sex or masturbate? And I said, are you even asking me that question right now? And she said, yes, I'm being serious. Which one? And I said, obviously masturbating. So...
What about my
Oh my god.
my answer?
I forgot what your answer was.
I said masturbate because you don't have to look mom straight in the face.
Alright. That's a good way to end on here. We're going to take a
Did the mic pick up what he said?
The mic picked it up. It picks up everything. We're going to take a quick break. We got a couple songs to play for you. First one is a nice oldie from Michael McDonald, and I hope you all like it. So we'll be right back.
Great comedian. Norm MacDonald, love him.
Chuck Stu Show. Welcome back to the Chuck Stu Show. You can go ahead and fly the fuck off. But now we're coming in with the no cuck zone or the new no spin zone because what's his name got fired from Fox. It's now an open copyright. So we're talking here with Buck Strickland. Oceanography is going to be the first question. Then we're going to go into a different segment. And Buck, I want to ask you this question. Are seals the homeless people of the sea?
Well, as you may already know, oceans are no cuck zones. So I spend lots of my time in the ocean. I like to swim with the seals. I've learned their language. They've grown to trust me. It's people I do not trust. Chuck. I must leave this place and I must join the seals or the otters, which I forgot what you said.
Well, I mean, we were in the car as we were picking up the doctor. He had a long night tonight, people. You really have to come up and thank him like he's a soldier because he puts up with so much shit. He's taken so many bullet holes out of the gang members here in Tucson. And as we were going, we were talking about how it's that episode of Hey Arnold is really deep about the pigeon man.
The nostalgia critic does not know what he's talking about. How can you criticize something that you've never seen and you've only seen the first episode? It's like, come
And
on,
the first
man.
episode's great, too.
It's like, come on, can you at least try? It's like, can you be like AVGN? Well, except for his newest episode, we're not going to get into that. But we did not know the nostalgia critic. We did not know him until last night, and then it was all right.
I'm going to quote before we get into the reading segment that Dr. Pearlstein's book told me one time, and it resonated with me. If you smoke a bowl and put on Hey Arnold, all of your questions will be answered. Now we're going to be going in reading The Hobbit first, the first paragraph.
Oh, you want him to go first?
All right, this is Dr. Pearl's Houston book. I'm going to be reading you guys an excerpt from The Hobbit and giving you my information. So this is the first chapter, or first paragraph, I mean. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit, not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. It had a perfectly round door like a porthole painted green with a shiny yellow brass knob in the exact middle. The door opened onto a tube-shaped hall like a tunnel, a very comfortable tunnel without smoke, with paneled walls and floors tiled and carpeted, provided with polished chairs and lots of pegs for hats and coats. The hobbit was fond of visitors. The tunnel wound on and on, going fairly but not quite straight into the side of the hill. The hill, as all people for many miles round called it, and many little round doors opened out of it, first on one side and then on another. No going upstairs for the hobbit. Bedrooms, bathrooms, cellars, pantries, lots of these. Wardrobes, he had whole rooms devoted to clothes. Kitchens, dining rooms were all on the same floor, and indeed on the same passage. The best rooms were all on the left-hand side going in, for these were the only ones to have windows, deep-set round windows looking over his garden and meadows beyond, sloping down to the river.
I'm already sold. I don't know about the first paragraph or the first sentence there with the wet hole there. I'm not sure about that, but
No wet holes for the hobbits. No Baggins holes.
that's right. Actually sounds like the beginning of the Lord of the Rings films. Started with a party, I think. Anyways, so book. Okay, so we can all agree. You're sold. You want to read the book. Yeah. It was well written. You liked it. Yeah. So now we're going to be reading an excerpt from whatever this book. What is this book called?
It is called Angel in a Swamp. Not the swamp, a swamp. So it could be any swamp if you really think about it.
God.
Who wrote it? Do you know her name? Her first name?
Elaine J. Roman, and here's a
You have to
quote.
censor the last name there, but
Elaine Jane Roman Reigns. It's about a boy who meets a woman who only knows her name and being pregnant, but they aren't ready to be born yet. End quote. That's a brief synopsis for any of you out there. Chapter 1. In the swamp where I come here every single morning just because I enjoy the birds singing an unstoppable melody plus the crickets and frogs joining in too. The flies buzzing around repeating like cars. And lastly, the river. Listening to the water rolling down between the rocks and trees to making its moments on this earth. It's pretty amazing if you tell me the air fills with richly strong grass composting along with the various plants. I decided to relax for a little bit till I felt a vibration in my pocket. My alarm was set off crazy plus loud. I got up, grabbed my pack back, then started to run quickly. I knew I was late again to school and it's only Tuesday, ? This is what I get for being Mr. Tardy all week straight. Adelia always reminds me to set my alarm on which I did and now I'm late. I hope my teacher, Mr. Xander, doesn't call my parents, Jane and Luke, about this or else I am totally dead. I kept on running for a while now, non-stop until I saw something from the corner of my eye. The water was splashing wild along with the birds crying ear-splitting. I sensed that something was strange here at this moment. I looked around the lake to see what was going on. I found something glowing on the ground. A pile of leaves and grasses were covering up something white and blue standing out. I reached towards it and picked it up. It was a ring, beautiful and unique. I never saw a ring like this before. I stare at it for 5 seconds, then my phone rings. I jumped and reached down to my pocket. Dahlia was calling me. I answer it, hello, without concern. Where the bloody hell are you, Eddie? Vaughn and I are trying to cover you and you're still not here yet, she said with rage. Okay, Adelia, just calm down. Gosh, have you considered of taking yoga classes? I hear they take the stress out of you. I said with a smirk on my face, well, if you're going to start by being a smart arse, I suggest you save that for later and hurry up, idiot, she said, then hung up. I decided to put the ring in my backpack and ran off to school, and I still got a long way to go. Well, I could read chapter 2 if you like as well.
Oh, my ears are bleeding.
Whole chapter?
That was the chapter. That was chapter. Did you want me to keep going?
No, that's
That's
alright.
thank you, Elaine Roman Reigns.
Past tense, present tense, future tense. She just does not give a shit. She's like one of the beat writers, you know. She just goes all around the clock. She goes all around the place.
I know. It's like when you look and man, is this how? I don't know. But are these words? Now, Dr. Prosey's book, you've noticed that both of these stories started out in swamp wet holes. So,
Well, I gotta say something. It doesn't seem like this Ella Roman or Elle Roman, whatever her name is, doesn't have a grasp on the English language. Because the very first sentence she wrote in her book was a run-on. It's not really gonna. Publishers don't really want to see that, where you're immediately giving them errors. So I think she needs to just go off and kill herself. I mean, do something constructive.
yeah, just drive all the way up to Mount Lemon before you hit the tippity top. Find a swamp because it's Angel in a swamp, right? There's no the swamp. I mean, yeah, there technically was one swamp in The Hobbit, but there is a swamp. So, thank you, book, for reading that.
I give it 7 thumbs up.
Really? What the hell is that?
What the hell was that?
You give it 11 thumbs down. If my dick to turn into 2 more hands, I give it 4 thumbs down.
If she continues writing every day for the next 2 or 3 years, she'd be really good. But I don't know.
She's already trying to finish off her career. Go fuck yourself, bitch. You just get pregnant and give up.
Get pregnant, give up.
You get your car and you just fly off.
You fly off, you tune in, you drop out like what that hippie said in the 60s. Elaine Roman Reigns, thank you for that wonderful piece of literature there. If F. Scott Fitzgerald could rise from his grave, I'd give you a high five. He'd slap you in the face with his tiny dick. All right, what's the next segment here?
Well, I mean...
Well, do you want to go to commercial?
Might as well go to commercial because we're almost to the end of this series.
All right.
We're going to play a special song by Star Fucking Hipsters.
Cool.
Called 9/11 Was an Inside Joke. So if you have a problem with that, you can go slag off.
Slag off. Because it was.
It was. So
Thermite was found at the bottom of the burnt building. You can't tell me shit.
you can't tell me shit. So this is going to kick off our next segment, which is the Lava Lamp Lounge. We're basically going to be hanging out here at Buck's Mansion, and we're just going to be having a good time. If you don't like listening to us, hanging out, you can just turn shit off right now. And we'll see you next time on the Chuck Stu Show.
You guys already done the episode?
Yeah.
That was a lot of minutes
It's
already.
a lot of minutes. Yeah, we're almost to 40 minutes. What? Yeah, it's crazy. So, you can all have a shitty night. And like I said, if you're writing shitty books, just stop now, kill yourself, or get pregnant and give up.
Forever hold your peace.
Forever hold your peace. Yeah. Night, folks.